Hey everyone, my name's Jazz or Jasraj if you want to use the longer version. First of all, I'm super excited to be doing this. Um, I've been a member of Microblog uh, in not really for so long, but it also feels like much longer than it has been, if that makes sense. I joined just earlier this year. I've kind of, found a real flow with kind of using the platform. And I'm super pleased to be sharing with you specifically kind of how I use it for myself. I feel like there's different ways to use microblog. For many of us, it's a case of really just kind of figuring it out as we go along. But I wanted to give you something else to think about as you kind of navigate your microblog journey. I'll be sharing why I write and how I use the platform to support me with that original why. And the topic I've gone with is the joy of long form writing. So, let's get right into it. You might see me looking down and to the side every now and again just to keep me on track. I have got some notes here. And I guess we should get right into it. Now, I'm sure there are some of you who use Twitter, you use other social platforms, WhatsApp, Signal, Facebook Messenger, or you have done in the past, certainly, with regards to Twitter. I'm on Twitter too. I use Twitter for quite specific reasons, those being sharing my journey in real time as an independent writer who is kind of on this crazy path as an independent creative person. It's an opportunity for me to connect with other people, to kind of feel less weird, to make friends, and also for others to really find me and what I'm up to, and over time, if they wish, to become more invested in me and my journey, and choose to choose to become a member of my audience, if you like. So it's basically my way of really like I say, connecting with others and letting others connect with me. I find it really helpful to be intentional about the time that I spend, especially when it comes to the time that I spend online. So I'd really invite you to, in particular, question the places you hang out, why you're there, and to do the same with microblog. So, like I said, short form communication, I feel like it's kind of become the norm through nature of the internet and these social platforms and WhatsApp and Signal and all this other stuff. But in my experience, and I've known this for a while, and especially since I started blogging again when I left my corporate job 6 years ago, the real true joy is not to be found in fleeting sound bites. It's to be found in more kind of longer form reflective pieces, which I guess brings me on to the topic of this talk today. When I first started blogging, I was pretty much just sharing what was going on for me, what was on my mind at the time. I was letting myself process stuff that I'd been building for a while and just kind of releasing what was in my system, if you like. Since then, I've had different blogs, and I've kind of stepped into becoming a professional writer, if you like. So a blog where I'm writing for a specific audience, helping them out with specific things. So right now, I help writers, and that's authors and poets, make an income from their writing, whilst also kind of creating from an authentic heart space. And so what I found is, whilst I love running that blog and I am so passionate about what I do, I also wanted like another space to just reflect and share whatever I wanted to in an unfiltered way, where I wasn't like, I need to be writing specifically for and to kind of add value to other writers. I wanted to share pieces of my life, pieces of my story, kind of like I was doing in those early days of blogging, where I was just writing what was on my mind and publishing to LinkedIn or to Medium. So actually, this is kind of where microblog comes in. And yeah, it's an important point there. Blogging for me is journaling that I choose to share online. I'm going to say that again because it's pretty important. Blogging is journaling that I choose to share online. Okay. And yeah, like I said, in those early days, I was just sharing about being an introvert or about happiness as I was kind of learning about happiness and studying a master's in positive psychology. I wrote a piece about how I felt the recruitment industry needed to change. I'd just left recruitment and was feeling a little bit disillusioned with my life at that point. So yeah, I guess this is where microblog comes in, because I kind of acknowledge that even though I run this professional blog, if you like, for work, I still wanted a place to be able to express myself in an unfiltered manner. And yeah, I started my existing blog almost 3 years ago. In that time, I've been doing kind of journaling also, and I'm gonna kind of come on to my writing practice in a little bit. But I stumbled across microblog, and I loved the ability to write just my free form pieces about what was going on in my life, and I also share little snippets and little pictures here and there too. And of course, I loved the warm, supporting nature of the community. I think when I signed up, there was a photo blogging challenge going on. I found myself posting selfies as part of the challenge and being like, oh wow, I've always felt a little bit odd with platforms like Instagram and just putting myself out there in that way. So yeah, I really just wanted to share who I was and what I was up to, kind of beyond that other blog that I run, and just really share pieces of my story and give myself that opportunity to connect with myself and perhaps connect with others out there. I think about my favorite blogs. I just love reading other people's stories and connecting with them, and vice versa. It's kind of like a two-way exchange that takes place. So I thought I'd share with you a couple of ways that I journal. I mentioned that I've been journaling. I didn't realize it at the time necessarily, but when I started sharing my thoughts and publishing them 6 years ago after I left my job, that was pretty much journaling. And I've tried and experimented with various forms of journaling. Like writing is my way to process and to reflect and to make sense of stuff and just to express those deeper parts of myself. As some of you might well be able to connect with, seeing as you're kind of all writers. I know many of you, if not all of you, who are watching this will be on microblog. I know there are others who might have been, who might have come across microcamp who aren't necessarily in the microblog community, and welcome. So I thought I'd share my two go-to ways of journaling and how microblog fits in with this. So first of all, I have a journal that is for my eyes only. Just for Jazz. I can show up as I am, completely raw, unashamedly, put it out on the page. It's actually in my bag here, I think. Oh, no it isn't. So yeah, actually my personal journal has just been completed. It's full in the last couple of days. So this has now become my everything journal for my private stuff and also the stuff that I kind of upload and share on my own blog and on microblog. Everything that I write is pen to paper, and then I type it up afterwards. For me, there's something about the pen to paper experience that just can't be, it's just not the same if I type straight onto a computer. So that's my private journal. And then let's see where we at. Yeah, so actually I've got my private journal, and then I've got my kind of second journal for writing articles that I publish, and I'm kind of using them all in one place at the moment because my private journal is full. But I wanted to share a couple of exercises with you, which I thought it might be neat just to take a moment to do. I'm just looking at the time. It's just 3 questions. As far as journaling goes, I answer these questions most days, sometimes more than once a day. I've even done it 3 times a day, so morning and or evening. And those questions are as follows. And I'm going to give you a minute to kind of answer these questions. Normally I might spend anything from 2 to 5 minutes on these questions, but I'm just going to give you about a minute and a half. The first question is, how do I feel right now? And I'm actually going to take a moment to answer that myself. How do I feel right now? Yeah, grab a pen and paper if you haven't already. How do I feel right now? Whatever's coming up, just let yourself write it. Okay, just finish up with whatever sentence you're on. You can, like I say, you can return to these questions at any time. The second question is, what do I need right now? Or what am I needing right now? Again, I'll give you a minute. Just see what comes up. What's coming up for you? What do I need right now? Right, for a few more seconds on that one. Alrighty, and the third question is, what would I love to have? What would I love to have? Okay, just finishing up whichever sentence you're on. So we've gone pretty quickly through those questions. How do I feel right now? What do I need right now? What would I love to have? It was actually someone called Jacob Nordby, jacobnordby.com. He's got a free creative self journal, which is a nice little document, which kind of, yeah, like it kind of outlines those questions and why they're so powerful. And I believe he actually got those questions from someone else in turn. Okay, so that's my kind of go-to journaling that I do in my private journal. Sometimes I also do stream of consciousness. I just let whatever comes out comes out. And speaking of stream of consciousness, that's pretty much what I do for my my microblog pieces. So you'll notice if you look at my microblog page, I do share little snippets from my life in those little shorter form bits. But really, I like I say, the real, I think, value for me in the moment comes from those longer form pieces. It's just quite nice, I guess, looking back, seeing those longer form pieces. I also see some pictures and, you know, what I'm up to. So I do like to mix it up. But the joy is to be found in the long form pieces. So yes, it's stream of consciousness. I might share what's happened for me that week or in the last few days. Really just sharing what's going on in my life, actually. And I might actually incorporate some of those questions. How am I feeling? Like, what am I needing right now? Like, as I'm doing that, I almost they're almost there in my system now because I'm so used to answering those questions. So I guess the second invitation I had for you, and maybe we won't do that now because I'm conscious of my recording time, is for you to write about your day. Like, one of two things, kind of after this recording is done, or you can write this down to do later. Write about your day. How has it been? What did you do? What went well? And is there anything that you would like to have changed? Or you can write about your week, if that feels more palatable for you. Some people connect differently with each of those, day or week. One of them might feel easier than the other. How has it been? What's happened? What did you like about it? You know, what were some of the things that you did? Is there anything that you'd like to take with you into next week? Is there anything that you'd like to change? So write about your day, write about your week, and I've offered those kind of prompting questions there. And I hope that, you know, that's an interesting exercise for you, just like answering those three questions was, because for me, above all else, I write for me from an authentic place and put that out there for myself and for others to connect with. I find that by sharing what's going on in my life, not only is it useful for me, do I get intrinsic benefits from it, but that others also like kind of get a window into my life. And I think this is where connection happens, where we really share pieces of our story that kind of are over and above just a surface level, and really kind of sharing our journey and what we're up to. That's where that's what lets others and other microbloggers connect with what we're sharing, with what we're writing. Here's the thing, like, I feel like for me that's what blogging is. It's kind of sharing what's going on for me. It's actually letting myself process what's happening. And it's sharing my story with others to kind of receive and connect with it. So yeah, there are benefits for, I think, all of us by embracing longer form writing. There are inherent benefits for us as individuals, but also us as a community in terms of being able to connect with one another. With that being said, I'm just making sure I've not missed anything. Gosh, that has really flown by. I didn't expect 20 minutes to fly by like that. But thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for watching this talk, this presentation. I'm really excited about some of the other presentations. I've got my eye on one or two for sure. But this is really an awesome thing to be part of. Thanks to Jean and Manton for putting it on, for also inviting me to take part. You can find me at micro.blog/Jasraj, JAS for sugar, RAJ. I always love meeting others on the platform, so feel free to say hey, feel free to ask any questions if you've got any. This has been kind of super speedy, it feels like, but I'm a writer. I'm really passionate about writing, about the joys of writing, and about the benefits we can all get from writing and from sharing our writing and connecting with others through our writing. Hopefully that's come across. I'll see you in the chat box. Maybe I'll see you on a microblog. or in the chat box on one of the other presentations. Ciao for now.